Your dictation will start in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
We have gathered here to discuss a question which is of crucial importance to our future. No single program more intimately affects so many millions of our people than land reform. No other measure is remotely comparable in its power to transform their lives, to release their latent energies, and to give them not only economic betterment but hope in their future and their children's future, confidence in themselves as human beings, and equally important, faith in our democratic process. The sincerity and speed with which we implement land reforms will, of course, materially influence the overall rate of our economic growth. However, I feel that much more than this is at stake. What is on test is nothing less than the justice of our political system and its ability to bring about far reaching social transformation in a humane and peaceful manner. Recent technological developments and the spread of the high yielding varieties program have increased inequalities of income in the countryside and has produced even greater disparity between landowners and tenants. It would be a complete misreading of the situation to think that the productive gains of the new technology have rendered land reforms less urgent. In my letter to the chief ministers, to which honorable member referred, I mentioned how small cultivators have been left behind. Most of these problems have already been mentioned, but I think I will repeat some of them. The position of the unproductive tenants and sharecroppers has been aggravated by the rise in rents and the large scale resumption of land by owners, lured by the high profits of the new agriculture. In the long run, the very foundations of agricultural development will be undermined if millions of tenants and sharecroppers are denied security of tenure in the land they cultivate. In spite of legal protection, it is well known that cultivators belong to the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes have been disposed of their land by money lenders and others. Tenants have been downgraded to the status of sharecroppers and sharecroppers reduced to the position of landless laborers. All this has produced a growing current of discontent in the countryside, which has occasionally erupted into violence. These are dangerous trends. Certain constitutional amendments, which the Honorable Member has mentioned, were carried through to reduce litigation, but problems are still there. I know that all of you are as deeply concerned about these developments as we are at the center. But the conclusion which we must draw from them is that land reforms have become more urgent than even before, and that an active progressive land policy must be a vital part of our socio-economic development policy. I do not wish to belittle the importance of what has been achieved so far, such as the abolition of the intermediaries. However, we must honestly face the fact that the pace of agrarian reforms has been disappointingly slow and has not fulfilled the expectations of our people. Many of our laws are themselves defective. For example, the ceiling on land in states are hedged in with so many relaxations and qualifications that they have invited evasions. Others have so many lacunae that they have resulted in prolonged litigations. The machinery for their enforcement has been far from adequate. The illiteracy and ignorance of most tenants and the dual role of many owners of being both landlords and money lenders has made it difficult for tenants to insist on their rights. In the assessment of impartial observes, the enforcement machinery itself has tended to be biased in favor of landlords. No program of land reforms can be successful if it does not take these facts into account and devise measures by which they can be overcome. What needs to be done is fairly well unknown. The crucial question is how to do it. All of you have given and are giving thought to this matter. The Honorable Member has enumerated the points briefly. They are that land records in each state should be complete and up to date in every respect with the proper records of the rights of tenants. This, I feel, should be given the first priority because in its absence, no further reform is possible and even the credit needs of cultivating tenants cannot be met. Then there is the question of security of tenure which is linked with the regulation of rents. Land ceilings which have been already enacted should be enforced more honestly. Restrictions should be placed on the alienation of land belonging to the members of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. Holding should be consolidated within a specified period of time. But the real problem is not the definition of objectives but their achievement. All the evidence suggests that tenants and small cultivators are subjected to almost unbearable pressures during the implementation of land reforms. It has been the invariable experience that preparation of the records of rights leads to a wave of resistance.